Hello, everybody. Welcome to the D-Pad. I'm Rick.
I'm Sra with
And
Goj.
This was a terrible lighting choice. Oh no! I
Hey,
tried
you
doing something.
picked.
I tried doing something a little different, and I'm just like, oh, I hate this immediately. Hello.
Hey,
I'm
Sprit, Golux.
gonna fix this as we. Ooh, too much. Oh no!
Hey, and
I'm
it's
making
an
it
ape
so much worse.
arcade.
I can look very pale. Maybe that's what we got to do today.
JD
Oh,
says Mike a
God.
bit quiet.
Mike's a bit quiet.
And also hello. Nobody basically.
I don't know how much I'm going to be able to... Oh, actually, yeah, that does seem very quiet. Why is that? That's weird. It's much quieter than it is for, like, streaming and things. I don't know why it's
Now I'm
so
gonna whisper
low.
into the microphone.
Well, they're just not even
Make
going to
that
hear you.
I wasn't sure if they could or not.
Let's see. Is there a setting in here for this? I don't know what's going on there. Because I'm not like artificially reducing anything.
We just gotta project more. Pretend we're on stage
Yeah,
for
right?
theater.
I'm just surprised. I don't know. It usually isn't. Oh, wait a minute. No, for some. There we
You
go.
just being
Hopefully that's
dumb?
better. For some reason, the default mic was down to 85%. No idea
well,
why.
That'll help.
But hello. It is now in XSplit up to 100%. It should be
It is fully
more
cranked.
audible at this point.
Don't you worry.
I can see myself going into the yellow with regularity, even though it still seems like I'm kind of quiet. Like I feel like I'm talking very loud right now, and it's still just like, oh, you're like 17, 16 decibels below, which is still not all that good. Why? I haven't changed any of my settings from when I streamed on
Folks seem to
Tuesday.
think it's better now.
I guess I feel
And we're also not competing with other noise.
It's
which is
true.
a very valid point, Alex Brett.
it's true. Fair enough. But yeah, welcome to our January Patreon hangout. Normally,
It's like most of this week was January.
most of this
Counts.
week was January. It's true.
The
3
3rd.
days. 3 days were no. It depends if you're starting on Sunday or Monday.
America
At best, 3 days.
America starts on Sunday, which pisses me off because I think Monday is the right answer, but that's Europe.
Monday's the start of the work week.
No, it
Sunday's the start
depends
of the
on where
week.
you live. So UK, all those places, they do Monday as the start of the week in general.
You know,
It is U.S., Canada, Australia, something like that. I could be a liar.
all the Commonwealth, the old Commonwealths.
It's definitely at least like U.S. and Canada we do starting on Sunday, and like a large portion of the world is like, no, it starts on Monday.
I'm glad you heard Australia also. In my brain, I was because I saw, what was it Twerp did an announcement of a tour, and Austin was one of the cities, and I thought they said Boston. I'm like, oh, I've never seen them. That'd be kind of cool. And I was like, oh, Austin, same thing. Australia. What was it? Oh shit, Nintendo. Oh fuck, I forget what it was from the Mario Odyssey stream. I forget what
that's
Nintendo was,
funny.
but Sega was Segna. I remember that specifically. It was very far in at that point.
That's interesting. I didn't realize it was literally
Oh.
second day. That's fun.
Interesting. So I'm always fascinated by the differences between Portuguese and Spanish, because I know that there's like they asymptotically, they're tangent to one another in terms of a lot of things, and then there's stuff that's like super far apart too. I find it interesting that
All the Romance
that,
languages are kind of like that, I feel like.
I'm just surprised
The
that
similarities are fascinating.
I'm just surprised that Portuguese is so far away from the other like all the other Romance languages, like where. I mean, even honestly, English also does it in its own way. Where
No,
we have-
English mugged like 20 other languages to make
Right,
itself.
I'm
That's
just
a different
talking-
story.
I'm just talking day of the week, where Monday, Moon Day,
Oh,
where
well.
in French and in Spanish it's also
Thursday and
well, in French and Spanish, it's
all over
also-
the place for us.
it's also Moon Day in French and Spanish too. You got
Oh, sorry,
lundi
JD. No, there's
and-
always the
or
like
lunes.
15 minutes of rambling at least.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Especially
The
when I
announcements are coming
join.
at the end. The announcements are coming at the end. We're saving them. It's the money shot. You got to get ready for it.
It's Rick's version of OnlyFans.
Yes, yeah. I don't know if Jeff's in here, but it's his birthday. Wish him a happy birthday, everyone.
This
if
is
you haven't
Happy
already.
Jeffmas. Happy
And-
Jeffmas to all.
As everyone knows about big birthday fun times, is you gotta tickle the balls a little bit before you get to the end.
Oh my goodness.
So that's what we're doing here.
My gosh.
If
the
anyone
tease.
if anyone is new to these hangouts, I think JD, you mentioned that you haven't been in here before. I don't know if anybody else is brand new to this. Every month we usually have a hangout for our $9 patrons and above. You can head to patreon.com/dpadfm to check out the details there. It is at some point soon going to be in the process of some updates and upgrades and tweaks and things. I've been saying that for literally years, but I'm trying
if you
to like
tell me
actually
I could
do
it. You can just have to communicate.
Yeah, well,
those
I'm talking like
decisions.
new tier structures and new like rewards and stuff like that. Trying to like game plan a little bit. But yeah, so you can head to patreon.com/dpadfm, learn about that. We usually this is a $9 patron and above thing. Today we've decided to make it a public one. On an average year, either the April or the December hangout, or sorry, the March hangout, because it's at the end of March, usually as part of the anniversary stream. But essentially the anniversary hangout or the Christmas hangout, one of those two tends to be a public one, just because it's a nice opportunity to get everybody together. But it is so windy out.
Oh yeah.
Our garbage and recycling barrels have been getting knocked over all day and
It's
last
like
night.
minus 40-degree wind chill outside. That's why I'm so cozied up.
Yes, do not go outside if you are anywhere in like the entirety of New England tonight.
I hope we don't lose the Beebles to the cold.
I know. We missed. I mean, we would never have seen it because we're basically right outside of Boston. But there was the comet.
Yes, the bright green comet.
Yeah, I would have loved to see it,
That
but
would have been cool, but
no chance with the light pollution around here.
oh god, no, we would have had to driven for a while.
Yeah. Not to mention even
It is -3 degrees, JD,
Oof. Oh my
plus
God.
the wind chill. Like -3 is just the default right now. Then there's the minus like 30-degree wind chill going on. Just to be
Oof.
clear.
Jesus. Yeah, even outside of Boston, there's
There's
stuff
a lot
that's
of light
nearby that
pollution. You
would
have to
done
get pretty
Yeah.
far, unfortunately.
If we went out by your folks' place, we would have no trouble.
Yeah, they've got pretty decent sight lines
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, the green power stars. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
6 below in Maine. Oh my God.
Woof, Go Lux wins.
Yeah. Well, if anyone can beat it, you get a gold star, which is going to be a yellow tinted asterisk sometime.
I'll hold up a sticker and you can look at it.
Exactly. You can draw one. I'll turn all the lights yellow and we'll just draw a star on the screen, and that'll be perfect. But yeah, so I'm just like also making sure we're not dropping frames and all of that too, because that's often a problem for us, unfortunately. But yeah, so as far as like format for this stuff, again, for folks who are new or anyone who's watching this on the VOD after the fact, we tend to have the beginning is kind of a little rambly, just checking in, saying hey, chatting about stuff in general. And then at some point we kind of slip into the slipstream, the slip and slide of kind of walking through all the projects that are going on the channel right now, minus spoilers. Like I usually make a point of not spoiling stuff that is upcoming. I like to surprise people.
secret thing.
Exactly, yeah. secret thing. And in the earliest Patreon hangouts, I had to like specifically walk down a list of like, okay, we can't talk about this, we can't talk about this, we can't talk about this, we can't talk about this before, just in case, because like
quick, tackle John before he says something.
yeah, because I'm the only one with all the stuff in my head in terms of like how stuff lines up, and I don't expect anybody to have that shit memorized. So it becomes my job before this to kind of be like, okay, we just want to make sure we don't talk about the Supersonic Let's Play before that comes out, like that kind of thing.
I am so comfy, James Games. This is
Tell
like,
them what it's called.
It's all full of. This is all full of like Sherpa fleece stuff. It's so fuzzy.
Tell them the name of it.
Oh, it is called an Oodie, which is it's just hoodie without the H. They're like a whole. I got this for Christmas, and it's super snuggly.
John hasn't appeared much lately. What happened to him? Oh, John has off and on moved in and out of the apartment. He last lived here, and sometimes in one case...
He's been down in Connecticut lately, so it's been
Yeah.
a little bit far for him to come up sometimes, so it's a little bit more...
At one point, he was actually out in California, too, so like
Yes.
that became exclusively remote, minus the like once every month or two that he swung by. But yeah, he's about like an hour and a half away, maybe 2 hours, something along those lines. Actually, he might be a little bit more
Yes,
than that right now.
he has
but
abandoned Goji with us.
yes, it is. It is. We are housing the Goge. The
One day
the
he might
Grumpus.
be an adult and take his cat back, but we'll see.
But yeah, we basically anytime John's around, we try to make sure that we can get John specific stuff taken care of. I keep trying to poke him to do some Shining Pearl on his side. I don't know if it'll take, considering the one time he did that solo, he almost got wiped by a gamer. He almost got wiped by a gamer in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. But yeah, so. Oh yeah. Oh man. The is it Taiwanese? I forget who made. I think it was Taiwan that made the 3 Mega Man edutainment CD-ROM games. Those were fucking wild, but oh my god. And yeah, that was kind of the goal with Pokemon Legends Arceus. I was like, all right, it might be a while before Shining Pearl comes back. This is a good opportunity to actually like really get back into Legends Arceus. And of course, immediately after I recorded that first session, like I went to go and edit the first episode, and I was like, man, I kind of wish I had enough time to just keep playing for like another hour. That and or Sonic Frontiers, I was like, fuck, I'm like right in this open world like mood right now, and I really just want to get back into it. So I'm
could
pumped.
Play one of the other open world games I've suggested to you in your own free time.
It's true. I'm probably
crazy talk. I know.
I need to have free time. That's the real trick. I'm working on it. We'll get there. Once I do, I'm absolutely cracking down on one of those. I used to have the free time where in between random stuff, I would play for like 10 minutes of like Crackdown or, God, what was the other one? I had another open world game that I was, I think I did one of the early Saints Row games at one point too. I hadn't done that. That's more of a sandbox than, I guess Crackdown is also more sandbox than open world. It's
I
kind
think
of
the line gets a little
like
fuzzy
scope thing.
sometimes, right? Yeah.
I think the idea is that like a sandbox is one where it's a very large open area, and then open world is like the entire thing is one giant zone. It's one massive loading area, and the idea is that you're specifically exploring all over it, as opposed to you might not be able to like.
Rick will be celebrating the superb owl, if that's what you're trying to ask, JD.
Yes, there will be Super Bowl shenanigans and things going on. We actually, speaking of which, you can expect a new Let's Predict the Super Bowl next weekend in time for the big game trademark. We're going to get that all sorted out. We're figuring out when we're going to record it over this next week. Beeble is presumably very upset. He's a 49ers fan. And so they almost got
Very
back
close.
there, and then the Eagles just absolutely stomped them. It was a pretty brutal showing.
Brady claims he retired recently.
Yeah,
I don't
for
know
the
if
second
anybody's going to
time.
believe that. Right, exactly, yeah.
So we'll see.
And Robot Rumble requires us to pin John down for multiple hours, which is tricky lately.
Yeah, that's related to the previous. We need to not only pin John down, but we have to have him be good to record for like 4 hours. Those
That's
things
been
take
tough.
a long time to record.
Because they have to sit up here and argue about Robot Masters for a while.
Well, not just that, but it's
important.
also doing, like, there's cuts in between things. There's us looking stuff up to make sure that we're not, like, completely misremembering stuff.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. You have to sit up here and argue about the Robot Masters for a
Yeah.
while. Like, there's a lot of research involved.
Yep. And then the editing is its own entire monster, but at least at that point, I can make gradual forward progress on that till it's done. But, and yeah, the Niners, like, they put up a great showing, and then they just kept losing their QBs.
It's
Not
tough
the,
to. You can't do much about that when you're just slowly taking them all out with injury.
Yep. But yeah, so we'll see.
I would agree with that definition of sandbox versus open world. Yeah,
I think I missed it.
specific goals versus not specific goals kind of thing.
I suppose that's fair. Yeah, sandboxes tend to have like missions essentially, and like open worlds can also do that, but they're a little bit more free flowing. Like you don't necessarily have to, make a beeline for it, and you can find other ways to progress instead of that. But
The trick is catching him first, Kirby. We have to catch him first, and that's been tricky.
yeah,
He's been elusive lately.
we will see. We will see how it goes with all of those things. If I can convince him to do some remote stuff, then cool. Maybe he can bring somebody else in down there as well to like join him on mic or something. We'll see. need to
Viking
learn-
runes.
Yeah, I need to learn some Viking runes if I'm gonna actually make that happen. But we'll see. I don't know.
We'll tell him we'll let him do tarot readings. There we go.
let's see what to talk about. Regular Mega Man is going to be coming back fairly soon, like the weekday stuff. We actually have our next game completely recorded, and we have for months, but we have something else that is coming out before then that's slightly holding that up. And I want to make sure that it's really fucking good before it comes out, because it's slightly already trod on ground, and I just want to make sure that we're not like just repeating ourselves. I want it to actually like be a thoughtful thing. You'll understand when it comes out, I suppose. Let's see. I have not seen the new Mario Brothers poster. I don't know if I've seen any of the posters. As far as the Tribe review, it is on its way. It has been recorded, and progress has begun. So you can expect to see that real soon. As well as we have started recording Mega Man Star Force 3. We've got 4, I think, episodes already in the bag. So as soon as the review goes up, we're going to be good to go with a handful of those. That'll be great. And boy, oh fucking boy, there's some fucking stuff right away. Like, I think either the first or second episode had Jeff and I in complete hysterics. So yeah, there's all that. Yeah, honestly, one of the neatest things to me about the Battle Network series and the Star Force series, less Star Force. Star Force is more original, but the Battle Network series was really cool with their reinventions of the classic Robot Masters. Some of them just were like the same but cooler. Like Metal Man is basically just more Saw Blade. Others are like a completely different interpretation, which I find fascinating. Like Top Man goes from being like a very basic like toy,
Spinning
like
top
well, like specifically Top Man from the NES games was like one that you would spin with your fingers and just blah. But then for Battle Network, they turned it into like a Japanese top, like the one where you have a big string and you like kind of, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's a similar kind of idea.
Yeah, I think it's actually just an older top in general. I feel like that was a thing like back in the early 1900s in America too.
Yes,
where you just kind of and you almost like you're almost revving it like you would like a snowblower engine, right? Like you're trying to get like a friction on it to get something started, and then the engine goes. But like that same sort of, you pull on it with the string to make it spin really fast before it hits the ground.
It gives you more on it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You can just spin it longer that way than you can with your fingers. It's just
gets a lot more torque on it, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, no, Fully Charged is definitely on my radar for doing some stuff there. Oh God, was it? Hello,
did we
Frozen
have a
Foxy.
weird echo?
Please tell me the echo did not return and we haven't been just sitting here echoing like crazy for the last 20 minutes. I hope we haven't. I'm pretty sure that we're not. I think I can see that we don't have a echo on this thing anyway. I hope. Was it
been
really
echoing? Really?
Oh,
why? God. Not for Ipe Arcade.
Oh man.
Just jokes.
Let me check something real quick. No, that one's not. Ooh, interesting. Very, very interesting.
A lot of people are saying they don't hear any echoing.
I'm just gonna check my settings real quick just to be sure.
Yeah, you sure you don't have the link open twice there, Foxy, or something? Everybody else says it's fine, so I think we're in the clear.
Okay, we are not actively listening to the microphone through the. So there's a setting that we have to have on when we record DS games where you listen to the line in port and play it through your speakers. And the reason we do that is because that is actually the audio that we hear and are responding to when we play DS games through the TV, essentially. But because if I turn that off, then the volume is like way lower, even when it's maxed out. But if I forget to turn that off, then when we do this, we're both ingesting the line in and then listening to the line in, which is then getting ingested a second time into the stream.
Oof.
So that's where that echo tends to come from most of the time.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening though. So.
Yeah. But yeah, there are lots of like reviewy things that are on my radar. I had a couple that I was thinking about doing. I have some new stuff I was thinking of adding in there as well. We'll see. I think this year is going to be a bit of a shakeup in terms of some of the stuff that we're doing that is new, stuff that we're doing that is different. I'm excited for it though. So yeah, weekday Mega Man is going to be coming back soon once I can get that situated. The weekend Mega Man, we've got Star Force Tribe coming soon, as well as Star Force 3. The final Star Force game. I was going to say ninth. Ninth is almost right. It is the like. I'm gonna swing for the fence and say 14th weekend Mega Man games. They had the 6 Battle Networks, the 3 Star Forces. We also had Battle Chip Challenge, Battle Network Wonder Swan, Network Transmission, and 4.5 Real Operation or Real Operator, depending on how you feel like translating. I think that is all of the side games. So that's 13, right? 6, 4, and 3 is 13. WS, Network, Transmission, Battle Chip. Yeah. Oh, well, I was close. But yeah, our 13th and final weekend Mega, it's going to be extremely weird when that is gone. Like, we'll still have Kingdom Hearts to be like our main weekend content after that, but it's going to be extremely we've been doing Mega Man for, oh boy, I think 8 years now. 8 years. And like there have been occasional like hiatuses on the weekend stuff, because we also took like a full year off from like the Mega Man stuff in between finishing Mega Man 11 and starting the post game of all the like side games and other weird shit. But the weekend stuff never like fully stopped. There were long hiatuses here and there, but it's been a continuous run now, more than 8 years in. Because I think we started that in January 2015, I think. But yeah, it's going to be extremely strange to not have that be like... So what has to happen, exactly like it happened with Mega Man 11, they need to announce a Mega Man Star Force 4 and Mega Man Battle Network 7 as we're midway through Star Force 3, so we can have that as our capstone.
Tradition.
Yes. Because we had Kirby and the Forgotten Land also as we were wrapping up Kirby. The timing on that was like so perfect.
It was.
But yeah, so we'll see how things go there. But so we actually do have another episode of D-Pad and Chill for Sonic Prime in the can. I haven't put it up yet because I want to have us record the rest of it in one go essentially and have it be one big thing. Not one big video, but like I want to put them out. I don't know if it'll be like a week straight of episodes or if it'll be like one a week until they're done, but that's another thing that requires John to be around for, I think that's about 3 hours. I think they're like 25-minute episodes, so about 3 hours for the remaining 6 episodes we have to look at. D-Pad and Chill occasionally can involve chilled beverages and drinking games. I think the last time it explicitly involved chilled beverages would have been Titan AE probably. I think that one we had some
classic.
We had a couple drinks, including my greatest prognostication.
The Bob Planet one, that was hilarious.
That was
to me.
That was like a
That was
miracle.
amazing.
And I'm so glad that we caught that on mic, because I feel like that's one of those things where if that ever happened without,
no one believes you kind of thing, right? Yeah.
Anything without recorded evidence is just like, nah, that didn't happen. Come on. But yeah, so oh yeah, Frozen Foxy. I don't know if you saw right around Christmas, but when we did our final, it was supposed to be a Christmas special, but I think the Donkey Kong Country stream was taking an abnormal amount of time to process to go live. So it was just sitting there literally all day. It was the second Christmas special that was recorded and like the third that was edited. And it was the last one to go up that week for like Christmas stuff on like at like 1 a.m. on the 26th or something. But we did the first game on the Magnavox Odyssey, a series that itself is coming back soon. We had some technical things we wanted to work out to make the rest of the series better. I gotta do another tech check, I guess, to make sure that things are looking good, with some like pass through stuff and all of that. But we did table tennis, the first game on the Magnavox Odyssey, which is
Oh,
itself
yes.
the first home console, the first commercial home console, and we made that essentially the first commercial home console video game was our 10,000th Let's Play video on the channel, which is like fucking
It
crazy.
was super cool.
Is the Odyssey one unlisted? I'll have to go back and fix
Oh,
that
no.
afterwards. That shouldn't be. I may have forgotten to tweak that after Christmas, so I'll fix that. But yeah, we got an Odyssey in like immaculate condition. It legit looks like some family played with it for like a couple months and then put it in the box, and then the box sat there for 49 years and 9 months until it was sold to us.
It is in pretty nice shape.
Yeah. We have something in mind for how to handle the overlays in terms of the way that we do a recording. It's the reason that I wanted to do some tech checks, because I had some ideas that I wanted to test and workshop to see how that will that'll play out, how that'll work for us. Because yeah, if we don't have that, it's gonna really like mess with stuff a bit. Commodore 64 is pretty rad. There's some pretty surprisingly decent stuff you can play on that. It's funny. I feel like in the States, like in terms of the world of video games, I feel like there were two really huge differences between the US and the UK in terms of like eras of video games. We had the issue of like frame rate weirdness back in the composite cable. I'm terrible at remembering which. I'm going to say component. We'll just see how it goes. The component cable era, where American TVs played at 60 hertz and PAL TVs in the UK played at 50. And back then, there was only so much processing power to go around in the consoles, so they just went like, yeah, a hertz is a hertz. So UK games just played slower by like 20%, I think, or I guess 16%. And yeah, like it's so bizarre. If you're used to a soundtrack to a game in either the NTSC or PAL region and you listen to the other, it just sounds weird. It's still, do they still have 50 hertz? I guess at this point it's such a standard. How can you not have that still be a thing there? Man, that's it's so wild that is. But nowadays, at the very least, modern consoles have their own internal clocks that go way the hell beyond 50 or 60 hertz. So they'll show the frames as often as they can, and they'll just go from there, which makes sense. But the other big thing when it comes to the big differences between the U.S. and the U.K., the U.S. really didn't get into the like hobby video game like home computer consoles nearly as much as the UK seemed to. The UK has like so many like computer gaming systems from like the like early 80s, and the US has, I think we got the Commodore 64. I think we got something from Amiga, and I want to say there was some Atari thing that was a computer situation. Otherwise, though, we didn't really get much. In the UK, it was way hello Nick Panda 123. It was a whole different story over there. But let's see. Scrolling through here. Sonic Frontiers. No, I have actually been a huge fan of Sonic Frontiers. I think there's a few bits and pieces that are a little wonky. I think it's a little too eager to send you into rad skateboard trick mode. At which point, I don't know if there's an easy way to break out of it that doesn't involve stomping. I don't even know off the top of my head if stomping does. I assume stomping stops you. Maybe you press X or something, it'll bop you out of it. But yeah, the trick mode has been kind of awkward because just at random you'll be running and it'll just be like, oh, actually you're doing tricks and you're in an uncontrolled parabolic arc. And you're like, oh, okay. But otherwise, no, it's been pretty good. I do wish there was slightly more, like, I don't want to say slightly more story, because there's a decent amount of story. I wish it was a little, like, denser, maybe. Like, the biggest problem, and this isn't a Sonic Frontiers thing as much as it is an open world games thing. Open world games have one really major flaw with them, which is if it is a truly open world experience and you can go whatever direction and you play it by ear, or at least broadly move wherever you want. And then, now is Act 2 and things are a little different. In nearly all of those, the story feels like it's really, bare bones, I think. And it's not just open world games. Sandboxes have some trouble with that too. Even just non-linear games in general really struggle with it. And
also, the thing I think I find more frustrating sometimes in some ways, like this was Breath of the Wild, I think was a perfect example of this. Rewards felt meaningless because they were never sure which order you were going to go in.
Yeah, they have
so
to.
It's like, what's the point sometimes? You were like, you'd get bullshit is kind of how it felt.
Which is interesting because, like, they could have done, there are plenty of games that scale enemies based off of your power. They could very easily have had essentially a progression of rewards.
Right, it didn't matter where you went, but yeah.
That, like, get better over time. They just go, okay, this is a, like, you have sort of a default class of whatever that you're at a given point, and it's based off of how many shrines you've completed or whatever. It's like, okay, so you've beaten 58 shrines. You are essentially internally, invisibly level 58. And it goes, okay, that's the 50s block. So when you get a treasure, the base is that it's a 50s block weapon, and maybe if it's a harder one, you'll go up a block or two, and if it's an easy one, you'll go down a block or two, and like just do that or something, But I don't know. It definitely felt like ammunition more than like real rewards most of the time.
Right, which is kind of what I'm trying to like. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a good game. Don't get me wrong. I just.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah. Mega Man 8-Bit Deathmatch. Yeah. Version 3 will be slotting in relatively soon, actually. Soon-ish. My guess would be sometime in April we'll be getting back into 8-Bit Deathmatch. And yeah, we'll be doing version 3 before moving on to some other stuff. Let's see. The UK largely avoided consoles until the Mega Drive. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And Brazil has been happily playing the Master System for, God, what, like 35 years or something at this point? Brazil and Tectoy love the Master System. It's insane how well that shit still sells there to this day. That's a console from the late 80s, and it still sells.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Let's see. Checked out the Sonic Frontiers free DLC. I'm aware of the free DLC. I have looked at like what's on offer, at least vaguely. I haven't seen any real details, but like it looks like the first wave is mostly cosmetic. We might do like a one-off episode to look at it when that comes out to just kind of show off what's in there. But then the second and third waves seem like they do have like actual content really to them. The second one has like the open world challenge, which I have to assume is going to be essentially a set of 5 island spanning gauntlet challenge things, whether it's a race across the entire island or, like think Kirby games where it's like, all right, you're trying to get there fast, but then there's also going to be battles in between and stuff like that. So that should be interesting. We'll see how that goes. And then the third one seems like it's new content altogether, which is a little more evocative of like Age of Calamity with their, I think, second DLC, the one that added the like Tinker Shop stuff and all of that. But yeah, so when the DLC comes out for Sonic Frontiers, we will play that. We will take a look at all of that stuff. We are not going to 100% Sonic Frontiers, at least right now. I think when the second wave DLC comes out, we may opt to try and at least 100% like the stages, and I guess we're already 100%ing all the missions. We'll probably wind up 100%ing the stages and the Fishopedias. There's 2 of them, and then maybe when the third wave comes around, we'll actually just go back and get all the memory tokens. I think that's what they're called, and max ourselves up because why not? Egg memos are coming soon.
Psychonauts is amazing, and we played it regularly, personally.
Yeah. I actually, back in college, I borrowed Sarah's copy of Psychonauts in order to play it. It took forever for me to get it back to you too, I think.
Yes, it did.
But it did make its way back, and now it lives with me also. So hooray!
And you also borrowed my VR copy to play.
I did.
And yeah.
I did, yes. But Psychonauts 2 was mine, but you bought it for me
Yes, well.
as a gift.
Yes, I backed that for both of us.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see. We live in a bizarre world where Sonic game turns out great and Pokemon game turns out not so great. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been enjoying Scarlet and Violet so far. It does, both Arceus and Violet have had like moments for them, but honestly, Scarlet and Violet's been pretty enjoyable. It seems pretty huge in terms of, like, I've done now 5 streams, I think, 5 or 6, and on the one hand, by certain metrics, I'm like around like a quarter to a third, like a 30%, I guess, of the way through the game in terms of both progress and filling the Pokedex. Filling the Pokedex in terms of I have like 86 Pokemon out of 400, but a bunch of them can evolve very quickly. So you can estimate that it's higher than that. But yeah, I don't know. It feels super huge, which is good for an open world game. And yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm glad that they tell you where various Pokemon will spawn, though. That's a useful. Like, they've always given you some kind of tracking, but it's nice to be able to be like, oh, I caught this Pokemon. The Pokemon immediately before it in the Pokedex, I can now see where it lives and where it spawns. So perfect. So that's been a good time there. It is. I would say Scarlet and Violet is the best Pokemon game that they've done since. I could say either. I would have to really think about how I'd compare it to Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon was generally fine. The splitting into 4 islands plus the whatever they were called, the organization, whoever they were, was a little bit annoying to deal with, but yeah, I think at the very least it's the best one since Sun and Moon. It might be the best one since Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Ether Foundation, yes, that's exactly what I mean. The folks in the nice, tight-fitting white, like halfway between suits and lab coats. It's a very interesting aesthetic. It's like almost a little bit steampunk-esque, even though none of their stuff is steampunk. So I don't know what that's all about, but yeah, Psychonauts, someone else mentioned. Yes, we streamed Psychonauts 2 and Rhombus of Ruin. Both of us have played Psychonauts, not on the channel, but we have played the game. We could do it at some point. We'll see. Oh, whoop. Sorry, I hope that didn't just like make a huge clang for you guys. Oh yeah, the egg memos should be coming. If not by the end of this coming week, then early into the next one. We already recorded later last weekend. After recording a session with Jeff, I then recorded another session with Peter. Partly because we were like, we might have a chance to finish this thing off. We didn't. So yeah, egg memos will be coming. We're definitely not finishing it in the next 2 episodes. So either I'm just going to record 2 episodes to get us through the week, and then the next session will have the egg memos, or depending who's here this weekend, we'll just do the egg memos basically at the start of the session. So later this week.
Depends on if anybody shows up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Mega Man Fully Charged. We were a little bit like on the negative side with it at first. Definitely the marketing push for it before any other materials released was like fucking ridiculous. Saying it all out loud, because we did a reaction video for that. And the first couple episodes were okay. It definitely, like, the 3D felt a little on the primitive side at times, like plasticky and chunky. Some of that comes down to, whether it's like the experience of the team. Some of it comes down to how much time and budget they were given to work on stuff. But over time, both the writing and the animation in the show dramatically improved. And there's a part of me that still hopes and wishes that maybe, just maybe, it could get picked up by Netflix or something for like a second season or whatever, or Cartoon Network takes their heads out of their asses and decides to give them another go and not stick them at 6:15 a.m. Sunday mornings. That'd be a good call. So yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Which is the game that's supposed to be getting a massive update this month? Is that Pokemon Scarlet Violet, or are we talking Sonic Frontiers? It's the problem of me catching up Pokemon. Interesting. The first update that they had, I think it was actually the stream that you guys were on, was allegedly like a day after the 1.1 update or something, and it was like basically not noticeable at all. Like it was still like laggy and weird and stuff. Like I'm like filtering it at this point because I want to enjoy the game. I don't want to play 80 hours of a game that I hate. So after all, it's like, whatever. Yes, the frame rate is dropping, and yes, it's a little laggy, and yes, the camera's acting funky. Whatever, fine, let's go. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Netflix is the new Fox in terms of canceling stuff everywhere.
It's unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate.
And then they're making a big they're making a big deal about like, oh, people, you gotta like do all this stuff to get, more subscribers. And it's like, okay, keep some of your shows for past a season. I'd subscribe,
Yep. Let's see.
And now, Expert, you're totally allowed to intercept questions.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Go
I
for
may
it.
I may re-answer. It's totally possible, but absolutely go for it. I am blind to basically all of the Scarlet and Violet Pokemon. Nowadays, like, I forget at which point I kind of changed on this one, but somewhere around, I want to say it might have been Sun and Moon. I was starting to get annoyed by how much the Pokemon Company was like actively like spoiling their own games by posting everything that they could to drum up attention, which, yeah, it got sales. Every time they release a game, it's the biggest one on the console, so like, sure. But it was getting annoying to be like, oh, so I know where all of these things are going to go then.
Yeah, don't tell me. It's like don't show me the trailer that tells me the whole story of the
Exactly.
movie, because then it's dumb.
Yeah. So like I stay away from the pre-release stuff at this point, other than the only things that I will make a point of checking out are the starter Pokemon, not their evolutions, just the starters, and the legendaries. That's basically it. There's generally a few that slip through the cracks. If there's a new evolution, then I tend to notice that. New regional like evolutions occasionally slip through as well. But otherwise, I try to stay away from it because I prefer to go in blind. I like to be surprised. You only get to experience it for the first time once. So that's usually my modus operandi for the channel in general. Is I like to make sure that at least somebody is completely new to a game as often as possible. Let's see. Yeah, Cartoon Network was airing 17 consecutive episodes of Teen Titans Go rather than giving Mega Man Fully Charged a sane slot to fit into. So.
And that's just sad because Teen Titans Go is shit compared to the original Teen Titans. And I will not be moved from this stance. I will fight with this stance vigorously.
I haven't watched either of them. I have no opinion. But
I'm sorry you're so wrong.
Me? I haven't seen them.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're so wrong for having not watched Teen Titans because that show is a fucking gem.
I'm wrong for having no opinion.
Yeah, you're wrong for not having watched it. I think that's fairly clear.
Oh my god. Yeah, Ash is going to be retired from Pokemon. It may have already happened in Japan, or it's literally about to happen in Japan. And the American show is around 8 to 12 months, depending on various things. 8 to 12 months behind the Japanese show. So probably around the end of this year, start of next, it's going to be the last we hear of Ash.
Sorry,
well,
the Beetlejuice
forever,
cartoon is also a fucking crime against humanity. I want to make that clear.
The Beetlejuice cartoon? I love that.
No. If you watch the original Beetlejuice movie, it is so different from the cartoon.
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
not supposed to be a good guy. Like, it's just wrong. It's all wrong.
That was a fun cartoon, though. It's allowed to be.
It's
It's allowed to be different and still good.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, Sonic Prime, when they announced it, I was a little confused at first because they announced it as 24 episodes. And they were like, the first 8 episodes are releasing on blah day. I'm like, oh, they're doing like a big release and then they're going to do them like week by week or something, or they'll just do 3 big releases. And I was kind of right. They're doing it as 3 8-episode seasons. They did the first season as one big block. Now they're working on the second, and they will work on the third. And I'm excited for all of those. I'm excited to watch the rest of season 1 as well. As soon as we do, it'll start coming out as well. Let's see. Miradon and Koraidon. I think Miradon is pretty rad. Koraidon is a little bit more generic in my opinion, and also at least Miradon looking like a weird future robot, like lizard cycle thing, makes sense with like all of that together. Like he seems to be part robot, so it works that he is also a motorcycle. Not so much with the biological dragon lizard dude of Koraidon, who's just an animal that has biological wheels, you know?
Obviously.
Yeah. Miradon is the preferable one for sure. Yeah, they started doing lots of comedy show, like lots of cartoons for not kid properties. Oh boy, there were some other ones too. Oh shit. I mean, The Mask is probably like maybe the best example of them. I guess Beetlejuice is probably slightly more, but like The Mask was also like a movie that was decidedly not for kids.
I fucking adore that movie, though.
Oh yeah,
I will
it's
hear
great.
nothing said against that.
It's a great movie.
I adore that movie.
It's also a movie that is super not for kids.
I mean, I watched that at age like 15.
I did too.
Like, I'm just Little
But-
Shop of Horrors, yes,
Oh,
a
yeah.
classic. I watched again another one that I think I watched from like age 10 onwards.
Oh.
Love that movie. Fucking adore it.
Let's see.
But yeah, the cartoons for kids, not like things that shouldn't be for kids.
Got the real Ghostbusters, the cartoon based off of the Ghostbusters, and the Ghostbusters, a like Magilla gorilla looking weird other cartoon that is not at all related to the movie Ghostbusters at all. It's reminds me of like, so it's the whole reason that the Avengers, the movie, like the MCU Avengers movie is called Avengers Assemble in the UK, because otherwise it would be a bit conflicting with the Diana Rigg Avengers
Legally
movie from like the
distinct.
70s, I think. I think we also only just lost Diana Rigg like a couple years ago, like 2-ish years ago, something like that. Yeah. Oh, they crossed over oh Jesus. Oh my God. But yeah, so I should get back into the updates. Sonic Frontiers is coming along. I think we're getting close to the end overall. We probably only have another like 2-ish weeks left in total, I think. Again, we're not going to 100% everything. We are going to 100% the missions, but then we're going to play it through to the end. We're on hard mode, so we should be getting the full ending. Good night, nobody. Have a good one.
No,
Excuse me, my God. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. That is kind of on hold, I guess, until we get John in to do some more Shining Pearl. Where's my... there it is. There's like a long thing of like status text on XSplit, and buried in there is how long we've been up. And I'm just like, where the fuck is it? There it is. 52 minutes and 19 seconds. Resident Evil. We're going to be starting that up. I think we may have a new game coming this coming week. Maybe. I think. I got to check with CJ, but I believe he is coming to record some stuff this weekend for that. We're hoping to be done in time for the Resident Evil 4 remake at the end of March. So that'll be a good time. We also have oh, I marked that as the wrong week. Oh, whoops. The Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is coming out at the end of this month, and we shall be jumping in on that. We'll be bringing back the proper Dreamy Let's Play for what appears to be a very victory lap, nostalgia-driven tour of the franchise. So it's Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which was already kind of a nice like look back and look forward at the same time when it came out. But now they've got tons of throwback stuff in there too. They've got like 150 masks that you can collect of various Kirby Kirby franchise characters that you can wear for stuff. And they've got Mega Magoland, which is going to include mini games from not just Kirby's Return to Dreamland, but a whole bunch of other games, including Egg Cracker from Kirby's Adventure, which was like the most surprising one to see in there. Because I had to think about it. I was like, oh, that's been done again. That got done in, and I thought about it. I was like, oh my God, that wasn't even in Nightmare in Dreamland. That was just the original NES version of the game, and they brought it back. So I'm excited. And yeah, they've got like the classic DD design in there too. I am very excited for Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. We are going to do our best to make it a 4-player experience as best we can.
I did enjoy the shit out of the original Kirby one.
Right? I think that'll be a good time. Pokemon Legends Arceus, we were talking about that. We're going to be in it for the foreseeable future. My hope is that we can get it done before The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom comes out in May, because I want that to be our primary focus in terms of open world stuff. I don't want to be doing several open world games at a time, because they do get a little bit dense after a while,
There's also, I don't know, there's something fun about the more directed stuff sometimes too.
Oh, sure, yeah. It's nice to be able to kind of have like a through line, I guess.
Exactly.
Pokemon Sword and Shield, the Crown Tundra, no updates as of yet, but we will eventually be getting into it. I'm gonna be chatting with Ben a little bit, because I don't know if he's necessarily interested in getting in on Crown Tundra. If not, then that might be a Jeff solo kind of thing. We will see. But we did finish
catch Ben, get him to be more regularly.
But we did finish off Isle of Armor, or at least as much as was story kind of relevant. There's other things you can do there, but that's like the main thrust of it there. And then the Crown Tundra is the one thing that remains to officially put Pokemon Sword to bed for good. Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts has been back in action. We're playing Dream Drop Distance HD. We've got another 3 weeks of episodes. We have this weekend and 2 more already recorded. And we are much closer to, or at least what appears to be, it probably is, much closer to the end of the game than we were expecting to be at this point. If I had to take a guess,
it's getting close. Yeah.
I feel like this will be ending somewhere in the low to mid 30s for episodes. The most recent episode we've recorded is 24, and I think we're gonna get a little past 30, and that's gonna be it. Oh well, actually, you know what? For the main game, we do have to do stuff in order to unlock the good ending. So maybe it's more like 40, maybe a teeny tiny bit more. But yeah, I suspect, especially if we're putting them out every week, that there is a very good chance that we should be done with that game sometime late spring, like May, June, somewhere around there. But I'm looking forward to it. It's been interesting. They're doing an awful lot of setup, so I'm hoping to see what the payoff is, and I hope that it's good. I hope that it's exciting. So far, I think the most intriguing story that they've woven, I think, is Birth by Sleep, with Kingdom Hearts 1 just barely behind it. The only reason for that is because Kingdom Hearts 1, while it did everything correctly in terms of its story, it's a little more basic, because they were kind of doing the really basic setup. They didn't have a lot of extra stuff to play with at the time. Whereas Birth by Sleep has tons of forward lore that it's setting up, and I think it did it pretty neatly. And it all kind of pieced together like a puzzle at the very end, which is pretty cool. Oh man, the live action Resident Evil videos. We want to bring those back. I'm trying to figure out a good way to do that.
Waiting for years now.
Yeah, we literally we did costume shopping. We did costume shopping. Sarah has had a costume for 3 years now.
Rick was all like, "You should get this set," and I was like, "Done, boom,
Yep.
costumed."
Yep. So hopefully that'll be a thing coming around at some point. Hopefully fairly soon. We'll see. Let's see. We talked about Sonic Prime, and I think that is it for the major stuff. Streams. I'm doing Pokemon Violet till I've got every Pokemon. I'm doing Nightmare in the Dreamy Let's Play. We're gonna be doing Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland next, and then we're gonna get into our next like super chunky game, Kirby Air Ride. That could take a little while. We will see how it goes. And then after that, other than Smash Brothers games, the rest of them, no, that's a lie. Never mind. I was gonna say the rest of them aren't like too extensive, but then I realized that
nope, you're
there
a
are
liar.
2 or 3 that are like gonna be long all on their own. So we'll see.
The people are getting impatient.
I know.
Where's our special announcement, you?
Well, when the special announcement is going to be the end of the video, not like, oh, I'm waiting until the end. I'm saying we're gonna sign off, and that's going to be our little closing thing there. So it seems like everybody's hungry for it. May as well go out on a high note instead of whimpering to the finish. So I just want to say thank you guys for showing up for this. Thank you everybody for being here. Check out patreon.com/dpadfm to see how you can join these every month. And help support the channel. We're trying to grow. We're trying to do some things. We got some new tech that I've got my eye on. That'd be cool to get us, some good stuff for the future. And got big plans. There's some cool stuff that's in the works that I'm kind of like figuring out with the producer hat, putting on the producer hat to figure out how that's gonna go. So, thank you guys again, and I hope you enjoy what we got for you here. See you later.
Please watch it and enjoy it. Lots of time was spent on this.
Yes. Bye.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, but from some place even higher. Ramblers on. Ramblers on. I can walk, I can talk, I can listen and learn as the wheels in my mind begin to turn. But I'll never forget what you've given to me, the power to touch, feel, hear, and see. Thank you.
I think I found them, both the boy and the girl. Zach and Ashley.
That's us.
Is this where you kids have been the last day? I'm gonna have to take you back to where you belong. Your parents have been buried.
What the fuck? What the hell?
What are you saying? I can't hear. I can't hear what you're saying. What do you?
No. I'm not letting you in. I'm not dealing with this today. No.
You have to open the. You have to open the window.
Yeah, the window is shut. That's the whole idea, is that the window is shut so that you can't speak to me and I can't hear you and you're not in here because the window is closed. That's the whole point. I don't need this in my life today. I really don't need this fucking shit. Wait, where the fuck is he? Oh, shit.
You know, I watch cartoons.
Fine.
Yay! Ooh, and you know what? I have the perfect thing to watch on this very special occasion.